So, if I could this
Mhm.
time paraphrase you correctly, uh, your issue is that they were reflecting a culture which was not
Okay,
representative,
that can be, yes, that's true, but
right?
that's not the main.
So should all vernacular
Mm-hmm.
literature prior to maybe 10 years ago, all vernacular, all Malay literature, all Indian or Tamil and Hindi and Native American, all of this literature, should all of them be shunned in the same way that white authors are shunned? Because I think we can easily make a case that you will find similar tropes in classical Arabic works, in Chinese works, right? You will find this lack of diversity and maybe sometimes caricatures presented of different races and ethnicities. So in a world like that, should we then say that all of these works prior to the exact moment which I am living in, all of these works are problematic?
Well, it depends on many aspects. Like if we are looking at the parents who are introducing it into the homes for the children to read, then we also need to think about how are we part of the cycle of harm. But if we are looking at
What what is this harm that you are talking about when we read books like
um,
that?
is it dehumanizing? Is it degrading a particular community? Does it damage our social fabric, our social cohesion? And who are the books centering as well? Yeah. So, but if we are looking at university students or adults or researchers looking into history, for example, then it's a different thing. But so there's many lens to look, there's many ways to look at it. My area of expertise is in the children's book. I do not know I don't have very deep knowledge on legends. Of course, not definitely not global legends, but generally, I only know much about whatever we have in Singapore. So we need to look at it from the perspective of the child or the perspective of an adult who has the executive function to be able to discern the content that they are reading. Well, a child doesn't have the executive function to discern the content that they are reading from the book. So an adult is still needed to help scaffold the information. Like for example, I'm just going to quickly give an example over here. When I showed my son a Dr. Seuss book that has been discontinued, like one of uh, the viewer
Yeah.
shared. So it's this book, If I Ran the Zoo, and it's this book has
Okay.
been discontinued in 2021. The Dr. Seuss organization has discontinued 6 titles because of racist content. So I have this book. I got it as a gift, and then I showed him this. I just let him flip through the book, um, with me beside him to scaffold, and I showed him this page. I mean, he stopped at this page, and then I asked him, "What do you think of the drawings?" And then he said, "Why do they look like monkeys?" So this is actually a description, Dr. Seuss' description of Africans. Very dehumanizing, very degrading to show Africans as monkeys. Of course, there's a lot of others inside the book itself that's very dehumanizing and degrading, and also you can see the racism in it. So a child who's reading that book without an adult present to scaffold the content that the child is consuming, that child will take on the stereotypes. Be like, okay, all Africans are probably like that, like what Dr. Seuss drew, very dehumanizing and degrading. Or all there's also another part in the book where he very clearly emphasized on the eyes of the Chinese characters, and then he said it in the text, with helpers who all wear their eyes at a slant. Yeah. So then we know that if we were to ever make fun of other people's eyes or features or anything like that, it's really, really rude, really hurtful and harmful. But how is it okay to have it in children's books?